Fingerspelling is a big component of American Sign Language. Whenever you first mention a proper noun in a conversation, you're going to have to fingerspell it out, as well as if you don't know a sign that someone does, then you can ask them to fingerspell the word instead so that you can learn and know what they're talking about. So there is actually a sign for fingerspell, and it's this. So it's pretty simple. And then I wanted to go through some tips and tricks to help you improve your fingerspelling. I'm also going to leave a link to the website I use to practice fingerspelling in the comments below, so that then you can take a look at that as well. So the first thing is, when you're signing a proper noun, you're going to want to have your hand close to your mouth, and you're going to want to mouth the word while you sign it. So if I was going to sign my name, Bridget, I would do it like this. So that way they can both read your lips and read your hand. If your hand is way out far, then obviously it makes it much more difficult to focus on both at the same time. The next tip is that when you're trying to read someone's fingerspelling, you're gonna wanna try to make sure you catch at least the first and last letter in some of the letters in the middle. As long as you have at least the first and the last and whatnot, then you should be able to figure out what the word is. But if you miss the first letter, it's gonna be a lot harder and try and figure it out. Also, if you mess up while you are fingerspelling, you don't want to like try to erase it with your hand or like do anything with that, because that just messes with the flow of the signing. So like, say I was trying to sign my name again, but I accidentally did the D in the wrong spot. I would just shake my head no, and then I would start all over again. So just a simple shake of your head counts as them. They will know, like, okay, you messed up, you're gonna start over. You don't have to sign saying that you're gonna do it again or whatnot. The next is, don't bounce when you're signing. So sometimes when people are like doing different letters, they bounce their arm up and down. It's kind of just distracting, and it makes it harder for people to focus on your hand if you're moving it the whole time. But there is times now where you do have to move your hand. So if you're signing a double letter, like say there's two L's next to each other, there's 3 different ways that you can show that it's a double. So the one I typically do is called the slide. So you just do it and then you slide it over. And so they would know, like, say I was signing yellow. Y-E-L-L-O-W. You can also do a bounce. Or some people call it an arc. So for that, it's just like that. So same as the slide, but instead of straight across, you go up in an arc. And then the third way is called the tap. So it wouldn't work for a letter like L, but you can do it for like K or M, where you just do this twice. And that can also denote that it's a double letter. So you also just want to make sure your signing isn't sloppy. I know like deaf people will be signing way faster than you, but rather than try to keep up with their pace, you want to make sure you're signing really cleanly so they know what you're saying. And also, when you're trying to read someone's signing, a big thing a lot of people try to do is they try to say the letters. So like if I'm watching you sign the word dog, as you're signing each letter, I don't want to be saying D-O-G in my head, because obviously if it's a short word like that, that'll be fine. But if, like, pretend you were reading. If you're reading, you're not going to say each letter, you're going to sound them out. So it's going to be 10 times easier, especially with longer words, if while they're fingerspelling, you're sounding it out. So your dog is going to sound a lot easier in your head rather than spelling out the whole word and then trying to go back in your mind and figure out what that super long word actually was. Unless, I mean, you can also write it down as they're fingerspelling if you really need to practice. But I would say definitely start with trying to sound out the words. And you can also just always ask them to please sign again slowly, because a lot of the times they will start off very fast and might need a reminder or two that, oh right, I gotta go a lot slower.